I'm bored, let's watch The Critical Drinker. Have we reached a point where it's just okay to lie in your reviews, to say objectively false things when you're reviewing a movie? Have we normalized that? Is that okay? I know I talked about this last year. People like Melanie Mack, who absolutely admitted 100% that she wasn't watching The Acolyte. So her reviews were memes, out of context clips, secondhand accounts of the show was how she was reviewing the show. And her fans accepted that. I called it out multiple times. I know other channels called it out multiple times. But have we reached a point where they don't even have to consume the content that they're reviewing? They can do a review based solely on just looking at stuff online. I mean, it saves them time and money, right? They don't have to go to the theaters. They don't have to invest anything. They can just continue to craft their narrative based on projections, assumptions, speculations, spite. All of these things make it very easy for them to do these kinds of videos. It's a very short video from Critical Drinker here. It's only 8 minutes and some change. And I watched about 3.5, 4 minutes of it. And I started asking myself, based on some of the just false things said in here, did he even watch the movie? That's the first question that popped in my mind. The second one was, if he did watch the movie and he's still saying these things, is he okay with lying to his audience? Because I can tell you right now, based on what he says in the first half of this video, I don't know if he actually saw it. And I don't know what's better. The fact that we have normalized it, I'm saying that in the terms of this community, these guys, we have allowed them to get there to that point, and we don't expect more out of them, and this kind of stuff is just all right. Or are their fans so far gone they don't need any more from them? This is all that's required. Let's watch this video.
Out of all the Marvel movies to come out in recent years, Thunderbolts is definitely one of them. In fact, it's probably the one I've been looking forward to the least. Not because I hate it or anything, but because I feel absolutely nothing towards it.
So, feelings now. So that's, it's no longer objective facts that a movie is bad, or that there's something wrong with the way it was made, or an actor said something bad. Like, nobody went on press and said anything sketchy from these guys. So now it's just, I feel this way about the movie, and therefore the movie is going to be bad. Confirmed.
It's the movie equivalent of an annual dental checkup. You know it's coming, but it's not like you're pumped up to get started on it or anything.
Do these jokes still work for you guys, like the viewers of Critical Drinker? Are you still laughing at these chat GPT jokes? Because essentially what he's doing now is he'll go in and say, like, give me 5 one-liners about being negative about something, and then I'm just going to put it in my script for this review. Does it still work for you guys? It's super cringy.
And why would you be? It's just another by-the-numbers team-up movie featuring a bunch of B and C-list characters that most people can barely remember from films and TV shows most of us didn't watch.
Okay, so let's unpack all of that. They love to gish gallop and just say a bunch of stuff. So let's go through that, all right? So first and foremost, that is objectively false. That is a false statement. This movie, especially in the first act, is nothing like anything else that Marvel has made. It just isn't. It's objectively different. So that is a false statement. This brings in the question, did he watch the movie and he's lying purposely to his audience to craft this narrative? Or did he not watch the movie and he's just going based on speculation, hearsay on the internet? It begs that question. Secondly, you guys have said time and time and time again that movies have failed because of some of these characters. You have said that they are so important to these movies and TV shows that their failure rests on the shoulders of these characters. But in the same breath in this video, you're saying no one cares about them. So are they important or are they not important? And thirdly, John Walker is the only character in this entire team of the Thunderbolts, not counting Valentina because she's not a part of a team. He's the only character in the entire team that is exclusively from a TV show. The rest of them were introduced in films. So it's not like people had to dig deep to go and find 95% of the Thunderbolts characters. It's all the framing, guys. It's just the framing.
Taking on a nebulous threat that's poorly explained in a series of action scenes that look like they've been done 1,000,000 times before.
Oh, you mean so this movie, that's another objectively false statement. This movie is not some big action slop film. They use the word slop a lot. We'll talk about that at the end of this. But it's not, that is not the kind of movie it is. It is a very cerebral film with very importantly placed action scenes. Again, did you watch the movie and you're lying to your audience, or did you not watch the movie and this is all based on speculation?
Not exactly compelling stuff. But is it really as bad as we expected, or does Thunderbolts somehow manage to pull off a surprise win? Well, let's find out together, shall we? The movie begins with discount Black Widow, who's feeling sad and worthless because there's not much going on in her life outside of her work. And if that's not a neat encapsulation of modern feminism, frankly, I don't know what is.
So, a woman experiencing depression and wanting more for herself because of trauma in her past is now negative feminism from these guys. Did you watch the movie? Again, I have to ask you, did you watch the film, or is this based on stuff that your friends are telling you? There's no feminist elements to this. It is entirely a personal journey for Yelena. It is her dealing with trauma in her life specifically. It's not speaking to some greater narrative about women being a monolithic thing when it comes to depression. Like, that's not even the narrative. This movie is about personal relationships between these characters. There's no larger story about like any of these things. Feminism is literally not even a part of the film at all. She's not speaking for other women. She's literally speaking for herself.
Anyway, after completing her latest mission to blow up a lab in Southeast Asia, she's sent by discount Selena Meyer to infiltrate a high-security vault in the middle of nowhere.
By the way, anytime they say discount or low rent or something like that, it's just them being hyperbolic to brainwash their fans even more into buying into their narrative, their message, as he would say.
Where an enemy agent is about to steal a bunch of classified secrets. Now, a normal person might think it's a bit suspicious that discount Selena Meyer apparently knows exactly when and where she's gonna get robbed, but well, I guess discount Black Widow isn't a normal person. But when she does get there, she finds John Walker, Ghost, and Task Manager waiting for her. It's her.
So why is it not discount Captain America? Why is he not discount Captain America? Why is everybody else a knockoff of something but John Walker, the white guy wearing Captain America's suit, you know, the character that cannot be replaced, according to you guys? Why is he not discount Captain America? I'm actually going to keep an eye on that. I didn't notice that when I first started watching this video. Do you ever try and call him like Timu Captain America, discount Captain America, Captain Nobody? Do you have a name for him, or is he completely immune from that? Very curious.
It turns out they've all been sent here to kill each other in a kind of circular firing squad because discount Selena Meyer is now under congressional investigation and has decided to erase all evidence of her dodgy activities, including everyone that she employs. Once they're sealed inside the vault, a self-destruct timer activates to vaporize the whole place.
Okay.
Not a great plan.
Wow, it's lucky that they all happen to arrive here at the same exact time, otherwise this never would have worked.
Because maybe they were given a time to arrive. Do you need stuff spoon-fed to you? By the way, Critical Drinker's movie is shit. So his criticism of any of this is laughable to begin with. How do you know they weren't told when to be there? Do you need to be spoon-fed that? That seems like such a pedantic, dumb takeaway. I don't know anybody that has complained about that. Like, you are struggling to find things to complain about. Like, everybody's discount this except for the white guy. Everybody's discount this. Everything needs to be spoon-fed to you. It's almost like context clues exist in media, but that would require you to be literate about the media that you're watching. And clearly from a movie that was made about your property, you are not media literate.
It's even more lucky that there was a 2-minute countdown to detonation, thus giving them fair warning and plenty of time to escape. It's even luckier that the power source for the sonic barrier preventing Ghost from unlocking the doors just so happens to be in the room with them.
So you don't like stories. You don't like storytelling. You don't like tension. You don't like a ticking clock. Literally, that's what this is. It is a ticking clock, which is something that's used in every movie ever made in one form or fashion. It's a way to build tension. I guess what you wanted is you wanted them to be incinerated in the beginning of the movie and then the credits roll after 20 minutes. That's what you wanted, because you're not offering a solution for the problem. You're just complaining about the fact that you don't like the way the story went. So what would you have done? What would you have done? Oh, that's right. You made a bad movie already. So we know what you would have done. Got it.
Really?
Wow, everything's just coming up Thunderbolts right now, isn't it? So they make it out just in the nick of time, naturally, and it turns out they've got a new friend with them. This is Bob, a test subject for an experimental new program to create the Sentry. Basically Marvel's answer to Superman. The longer Bob's conscious, the more his powers start to manifest until he's captured by discount Selena Meyer and brought back to New York to be unveiled to the public. Luckily though, Red Guardian shows up in a limo because...
So far, John Walker, they're immune to the silly, demeaning names. Why is it that the women in the film all get these fun, demeaning names, but the men do not? That's quite interesting. The white guy specifically, I should point out.
Because he overheard discount Selena Meyer's entire plan when she was riding in his car, because I guess supervillains are happy to divulge their most intimate and damaging secrets in front of complete strangers.
What, are you retarded?
There's just all kinds of convenient luck happening in this movie. So the gang heads to New York to save Bob, but he goes a bit crazy and...
So this is why I don't believe that he watched the movie. Or maybe he has an extremely large negative bias towards Marvel. It is so obvious to me, at least from my perspective, that he didn't watch the movie. He went online to one of these sites, he went to Reddit, someone that he knows talked about the movie, and then he made this review. Because he's skipping over so many things important in the context of the story. Some of the stuff he's complaining about, like things that Valentina does, they're explained in the movie, but he's just completely ignoring it because he's trying to craft a narrative for his viewers.
And turns against everyone, so discount Selena Meyer activates a kill switch, but then he comes back to life as angry Bob and makes a big cloud of sadness that's...
Oh, right. She did not activate the kill switch. She didn't activate the kill switch. Another person did, not her. So you, look, once again, I want to point out here, this is objectively false. It's objectively false. Actually, I had to roll it back a little bit. He's also wrong on something else here, or at least he's not giving the whole story. Listen to this part here. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about.
There's just all kinds of convenient luck happening in this movie. So the gang heads to New York to save Bob, but he goes a bit crazy and turns against everyone.
So that's not even how that happens. That's not even what happens. He doesn't go a bit crazy and turn against everyone. That's not the scene. In that scene specifically, and I want to lay it out for you, in that scene specifically, he is being manipulated by Valentina. He is very much in control of what he's doing. He understands what he's doing. He didn't go crazy. He's very present in that moment. He's just misguided. And he doesn't just attack the team. Matter of fact, he doesn't want to fight them. They start going after him. He retaliates. And then he tells Valentina that he doesn't have to go after them because they are not important to him because he's a god. That's the whole conversation that happens. But you turned it into, he went crazy and attacked them. That's not what happened in that scene.
So discount Selena Meyer activates a kill switch, but then he comes back to life as angry Bob and makes a big cloud of sadness that swallows up New York City. But that's okay because discount Black Widow and the gang go into the sadness cloud and help Bob defeat angry Bob by having a good old cry, and then everything goes back to normal and somehow they become the new Avengers.
So 3 minutes, I'm curious because we got 5 more minutes of this video. 5 more minutes. That is the quickest and most ridiculous summarization of the film that I've seen online. I mean, are we missing the fact that this entire movie is about dealing with trauma? And so this team, if this team would have beat him by punching and kicking and throwing things at him, you would have complained that that's unrealistic. So they deal with it in the same way that Sentry is dealt with in the comics by most characters. Appealing to humanity. Because he is such a powerful character that it is hard for anyone to face off against him. So this made the most sense in the context of the movie. I'm curious where you go from here, because this is around the point where I stopped watching the video and hit record. So let's see where you go.
Son of a bitch!
I've said on various open bars that I expected Thunderbolts to be a relatively decent, by-the-numbers, and ultimately forgettable action team-up movie that would probably fail to make much of a splash at the box office. But boy, was I wrong on that one. This movie is actually surprisingly shit, and the biggest problems stem from the complete tonal whiplash.
Surprisingly shit. Now you guys don't even have Rotten Tomatoes on your side. You don't even have Rotten Tomatoes on your side. Critics and fans like it. The cinema score is an A-, which is an extremely good score. So you don't even have that on your side. You literally are in an alternate reality. You're in an alternate reality. There are criticisms of the movie, but you didn't cover any of those real criticisms. You went with things that I've never heard before anyone talk about, low-hanging fruit, and lies. The vast majority of the stuff you said is objectively false.
That it gives you. On the one hand, there's actually a pretty interesting attempt to explore the impact of personal trauma, depression, failure, a loss of self-worth, and a search for meaning and fulfillment in life. There's hints of this with Yelena and the rest of the gang broadly mirroring.
Hints of it? It's her entire fucking story. Hints of it? Hints? You mean like Easter eggs, like you have to search for it? That it's not there? Again, a lie. Objectively false. It is literally a lie. Her entire storyline from start to finish with every single character that she encounters is about her trauma. Her personal trauma. It's not about feminism or any of this other shit that you're talking about. Like, I know your credibility was already low with most people outside of your echo chamber, but the fact that you're not even able to either understand what the movie was saying, and so you're saying these things being illiterate to how the script goes, to how the character is portrayed, or you didn't watch the film. The material harm is the same because you're making this fucking video, and as of the time of me recording it, over 1 million people have viewed this. Over 1 million people. You are literally lying to your audience. You are a liar. You're a snake oil salesman. These are lies.
In the trauma that haunts and ultimately threatens to overcome Bob. And holy shit, the performance by Lewis Pullman is by far the best part of this entire movie. The guy is able to switch from befuddled innocence to haunted victim to a terrifying godlike entity in the space of a single scene.
Wow, the thing that you can read from everybody's thoughts and opinions on this movie on social media. Mind-blowing. Just this entire video so far is mind-blowing. Because it's just the brain rot your viewers must have.
And if anything, I wanted to see more of this shit. The problem is, the movie doesn't have time to give this stuff the narrative depth that it needs, and it ignores most of the struggles of the rest of the team altogether.
Sentry, we meet Sentry in the first few minutes of the movie, and he is one of the main characters throughout the entire film. What the fuck do you mean it doesn't have the time to explore that? The entire third act of the movie is about that. And you complained about it, saying that you didn't like the fact that they had to go in to the void, into his mind, into this alternate reality to talk to him about this trauma. The struggle that he has internally. It is the entire third act of the movie. Again, objectively false. You're either a liar or you didn't watch the movie. One or the other. And it's so frustrating and exhausting because you get millions of views to lie to your fans.
Why? Because we need to make more time for Marvel humor, protracted action scenes, pointless exposition, references to stuff that most people didn't even watch, and more Marvel humor.
Examples? Give example. What things did they focus on that people didn't watch? Which things? Which things? Give examples. Because if you're saying that these characters are all insignificant, and your complaint is that these insignificant characters are in a movie talking about things that happened to them in their previous iterations, that is a dumb fucking argument. What else are they going to talk about? What conversations are they going to be having? If they're not going to lean on their previous iterations, things they've been in, TV shows and movies, what the fuck are they going to talk about? That is a dumb criticism. It is just absolutely objectively dumb.
And this brings me on to by far the biggest problem with Thunderbolts. It's a tiny kernel of an interesting and serious idea, buried under a mountain of all the usual shit that blights Marvel movies. It's like they heard all of the memes about the formulaic nature of their films, and instead of correcting themselves to counter it, they decided to lean even harder into it out of pure fucking spite.
Isn't that so? What do you guys want? I want to know. What do you want? Like, they try to give you guys old school formula, phase 1, phase 2 stuff. You don't like that. They try to give you new ideas, new concepts. You don't like that. They try to do new things like in phase 4 and phase 5. You don't like that. It's at a certain point, a person with a brain would go, there's no pleasing you. So you're circling the drain. You guys are turds circling the drain, repeating the same shit over and over and over again. When I tune into one of their videos, I'm hoping that one day I'm going to turn on one of their videos and they're actually going to say something meaningful that I can go, you know what? This is why people watch their content. This is why people believe in these guys. But when you have folks like Will here, Critical Drinker, just lying about stuff, straight in your guys' faces, and you eat it up, num, 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 give me more, give me more. And they come over here in the comment section, they defend you guys for being liars. That's crazy.
John Walker exists for no other reason than to be wrong about everything and constantly mocked and belittled by the strong female characters around him.
Oh, the white guy. Right, I forgot. The white fake Captain America. You know, you guys love to call Sam Captain African America, cosplaying as Captain America. But the other white guy who literally murdered someone with the Captain America shield in his show, that guy doesn't get called names. You don't make fun of the fact that he's Captain America, but he's a fake Captain America. You don't make fun of that. He is the victim of women in a film existing in a movie dealing with their own internal trauma. Somehow he is the victim. I want to run that back. They don't say anything negative about him that is not caused by other people. Be very clear on that. John Walker, in this statement from Critical Drinker, is the victim of the women around him. He gets no funny anti-Captain America code name. He doesn't get made fun of for being a really stupid Captain America. None of that happens. And I wonder why that is. I wonder what the reason is. Is it because a lot of people who watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier show saw this guy as a representation of the worst parts of America? And this movie was trying to humanize him a little bit, make him a little bit more likable because of the way he was portrayed in that TV show? Is that why you want him to be the perfect guy? You want him to be the perfect Captain America? This is your hashtag my Captain America is John Walker. As long as he's not being talked down to by women.
I'll never understand why Marvel keep trying to make Yelena a thing.
But Yelena is one of the best parts of this movie. Yelena, Sentry, and then probably Red Guardian are the best parts of this movie. I think they do the most heavy lifting for this film, in my opinion. But you have to hate women. Bro, that's the problem. It's just, you are set up, you are locked in, you are backed yourself into a corner about hating women. So have you said one positive thing about any of the women in this movie? One positive thing? One good thing? No, everything is negative. It's all negative. But poor men, poor awful husband, child abandonment, Captain America. Sorry about that guy, but everyone else are pieces of shit. All the women are pieces of shit, and you have to talk shit about them.
This character, she's basically a shorter, dumpier, less appealing version of Black Widow with a shitty Russian accent and played by a disinterested Florence Pugh who practically faxes in her performance.
Objectively false. Again, a liar. Objectively false.
She is way better than movies like this, and she knows it.
Oh my God, a compliment. However, but also a dig. You got it there. It's a compliment, but it's also a negative towards Marvel. Because you can't give a compliment without giving a negative. You couldn't just say, she's a really good actress. You couldn't say that. You have to you have to say, well, we're going to give you half of a compliment. We're going to give you 50% of a compliment.
We're better than you, and we know it.
You know, there's a phenomenon here in my country that we call the Scottish cringe, a kind of inherited cultural embarrassment that we all feel because we all know we're a bit shit these days. We never say it out loud and we don't really admit it even to ourselves, but deep down we all feel it. And the reason I bring this up is that, well, Thunderbolts is a perfect example of what I hereby dub the Marvel cringe. Watching this movie, I was struck by this weird feeling of embarrassment, not just for the people making slop like this, but for me as the
Slop. There we go. There we go. That is the new word. Woke doesn't do heavy lifting anymore. Woke doesn't do it. Virtue signaling doesn't do it. All of those words have been used to ad nauseum. Slop is the new word. Every time we watch these videos moving forward, and we're going to see it in the title, the word slop is going to continue to be thrown around. I've got news for you, Critical Drinker. Your movie was actually slop. Your movie was actually slop. This movie, they did a lot of stuff behind the scenes to show they actually gave a fuck about this film. And whether or not you like it is irrelevant to the context of them actually giving a shit about the film. Because they did. All the people behind this gave a shit. Clearly Marvel gave a shit. They worked really hard on it. If it didn't tick off all of your personal boxes, that's fine. But you are saying objectively false things about this movie. You're lying about this movie in this review.
The audience, watching a bunch of aging actors dressed up in their goofy outfits, reciting the hackneyed dialogue and the lame jokes.
Aging actors? My dude, the two leads of this movie are Florence Pugh and Lewis Pullman. Florence Pugh isn't even 30 years old, and Lewis Pullman, I think, is 31 or 32 years old. Aging actors? Which ones are you talking about? Because Robert Downey Jr. is old as fuck. He's coming back as Dr. Doom, and I'm pretty sure y'all are going to be happy with that when it comes out. Chris Evans is older than the leads of this film, but you would accept him back as Captain America in a heartbeat. So what kind of fucking comment is that? What kind of comment is that? It's just dumb. You are so fucking dumb.
The physics-defying action scenes and the overdramatic villains. It's like watching a
physics-defying. It's a fucking superhero movie. Holy shit. You are struggling. You are struggling with it. Your review actually ended at like the 4-minute mark. Everything after that has just been nonsense. Your whole allegory towards, what is it, the Scottish cringe or whatever? I don't even know what that was. Like, fuck, what?
Teenager who's still playing with action figures, or a woman in her 30s still listening to Taylor Swift songs.
And you're reviewing it. Supposedly you watched it. What kind of fucking criticism is this? Holy shit, it just gets worse. It just gets worse. You are making content for old men complaining that the actors in the movie are cringe and there's something wrong with them because of their ages, when most of the people in this film, or at least the leads of the film, are under the age of 35. Are you fucking serious? What kind of criticism is that? Bro, you're in your 40s. I think what, you're like 42, 43 years old? What the fuck? Your audience probably, the age demographic of your audience is probably 35 to 55. So what the fuck? I think Wyatt Russell is like mid to late 30s. So all of these main characters, they're all either your age or younger, Critical Drinker, and you're consuming this content.
That the world around them is changing and it's time to move on now. The MCU practically defined the cinematic zeitgeist of the 2010s, and love it or hate it, you can't.
What's funny to me is, we're not going to watch the rest of the video. What's funny to me is that you complained when Marvel invested in a lot of children. And I say children like teenagers during phase 4 and phase 5. You complained about that. Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, Ironheart, all these phases with teenagers. But then you also complain that the characters in this movie now are too old. So clearly there's nothing that can be done. This is one of the most blatantly obvious narrative-driven reviews I've seen from Critical Drinker in a while. I still don't know if he actually saw the movie or not, because, again, either he is just telling lies on purpose to his viewers, objectively false things to complain about, or he didn't see the movie and he's going on secondhand information. Again, the material damage is still the same, and we've normalized that in this space. Critical Drinker, you should stop reviewing content. Your movie was dog shit. You made a cope video afterwards throwing a bunch of people under the bus, including one of the women that worked on your movie, because of course you did. Because of course you did. It's very obvious here. So you probably should retire from being a critic when you say that you know how to do things better, and clearly you don't. And everyone, that is an objectively true statement.